All right, we are live. Greetings, fellow traders. Let me get this tweeted out for everybody so everybody can join in here. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Exciting discussion today. Going to be on the 15 orb and setups within the orb. So before we get started, just take a moment to review this disclaimer that everything we're going to talk about today is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So if you're watching the recording, feel free to pause this to read through this, but take a moment to review that. Okay. All right, let's take a look. Let's get started here. So, whew, all right. Let me get this switched over here to our YouTube screen, our YouTube setup. So let's take a look and see how the markets are looking. So futures are down a little bit right now. We'll see if that gets any follow through tomorrow. Netflix reported earnings tonight. It was a little bit of a beat and a little bit of a miss. Like a beat on earnings, a miss on subscribers, but it was a tight window. So anyway, they're gapping up right now. So we'll see if that holds. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. Make sure everything's coming through. Okay, good. All right, so yeah, good stuff. Awesome. Glad everybody's in. All right, good. So let's take a look. So this is the S&P on the monthly chart. So right now we have a hammer month so far. So we'll see if that holds. We were down 6 points today. It wasn't too big. It kept the month green though, so that's fine. The weekly chart still green too. Taking the real body of last month, taking that up a little bit here. Okay. Daily chart. This is key right here. Okay. So this is the most recent downward trend line, right? This week, or last week, we held the trend line. Then we had an inside day. This inside day here, it wasn't quite an inside day. Well, yeah, actually, it was just below it, right? So the low here was 63.07. Yeah, so it was just below. But anyway, very, very compressed day, narrow range day. Excuse me, one of the narrowest range days in a very long time, right? So from expansion comes from contraction, and that's exactly what happened. We had a very expanded day. Now, does contraction come from expansion? Not necessarily, but sort of the psychology of it seems about right? So we had this big bullish day on Tuesday. We gap up and we go, and we gap up and we go, and had this huge bullish day. And it's like out of all this mess, right? Kind of this downward trend right now. So it kind of makes sense that that it just wouldn't keep going, right? The psychology would be like, oh yeah, everything's bullish again, let's go, right? No, it's never that easy. They always put the brakes on things, right? So just to kind of shake as many people out as possible, right? So that's just the nature of the market. But here we are, inside day doji, right? So very, very indecisive right now. So again, we're going to go into tomorrow. Interesting. Now I think with Netflix up, I think we're going to see some other stocks up too. I mean, you'd think we'd see like for instance, Amazon is up, like 5 points or so, with the market. You'd think it'd be a little bit stronger, with Netflix up like, 30 points. But is what it is. We'll have to see how that plays out tomorrow. We'll take a look at Netflix probably in a little bit too. So anyway, that's how we're at on the daily. Let's take a look at the geometric chart. Let's get that pulled up here. Okay. So you can see our inside day here. We're above the support zone still, so that's good. And it could just be like a pause day, possibly a doji sandwich, to work its way up, possibly to the eventually to the top of the channel there. So let's take a look at the levels. These are the levels that we tweet out to our subscribers before every market open. Right. These are very, very key levels that we use. Okay. And you can see why. Right. We go over the price action every market evening, and you can kind of see what happens here, right? So today we gap down, right? Now, anytime we gap, right, there's always a chance that we fade that gap, right? So we fill it, right, one way or another. So let's see what the price action did today. There's actually some very, very key levels here. So let's zoom in here. All right, so today we gap down and we had a hammer, right off the start. So pretty bullish, right? But where's the next level? Really, really close. So what did it do? Came up to that next level, gave you an upper shadow. Then it tried to go a little bit higher and couldn't, right? You had an upper shadow right there. So that defined the 15 orb of the SPX, right? So the opening range bar, there's your high, there's your low, okay? And then, work drifted its way down, right? And then tested, I've got today's, excuse me. Okay, and then tested, right? Retested the lows. Okay, but failed to break down, right? Didn't have any confirmation bars to break down those lows. Okay, you can see the spaces between these levels are a lot bigger. Anytime you have a big range day, it spaces out your levels, right? Then we had a little doji sandwich here intraday, came back to test the pivot level. We had a nice hammer that take us to the 15 orb high. Okay, so we retested the high of the day. We tested the 15 orb. Okay, had some compressed moves, had an inside bar, tried to break to the downside, then try to work to the upside, and then boom, right to the next level, right there. Then we got to the prior day's close. Okay, can we get over that? No. Okay, so if we can't get over that, we have trouble getting over that, it's probably going to try the next level, which is back down to the 15 orb. Okay, then a couple upper shadows here. Next level is back to the daily pivot, right? Back up. So that is how, right, price action works. It likes to test between levels. Okay, so that is exactly what happened today. So, I mean, generally it was a pretty narrow range day today. A lot of choppy price action, kind of some nasty stuff between. But again, we can see that too. We talked about this last time, right? We talked about, when we had a really choppy day, we looked at the vol SPD, right? Especially if you like the trade SPX or SPY. This is definitely a good, this is definitely a good chart to have, in the corner somewhere, or at least flip to occasionally just to kind of see what's going on. Okay, so we could see the other day we had a really choppy day, right? Inside day, and look at that, choppy on the vault. Yesterday we had a bullish day. Look at that, lots of flow, right, into advancing stocks, right? Lots of volume into advancing stocks. And we had an up vol SPD, right? Today, choppy again, right? So not a lot of action today. So tomorrow, Netflix, maybe we'll have a little more action, right? Maybe we'll get some direction on it, right? Now the ball doesn't necessarily tell you the direction, but just tells you like where there's flow. It tells you that things are at least happening, right? And then it's up to us to kind of zone in and kind of zone in on which key stocks might be moving, right? And then and we could do that a number of different ways. Okay. So there we go. Good stuff. Okay, so that is that. So let's take a look. So tonight we're going to talk about the 15 orbs, right? And we're going to talk a little bit more about setups within the 15 orb. So one of those setups, like we talked about, is looking for reversals, right? We talked about that yesterday. So one of those, let's see, on our 15 orb list today was Adobe. Okay, so Adobe had a very interesting move today, right? So a couple things that I want to point out on Adobe is, right? First of all, the 15. Let's pull up the 15 orb on this. Okay, orbit 15. There we go. Okay, so there's the orb on this one. So now really interesting, right? So let's take a look at the daily chart and see what happened with Adobe today. So Adobe, guys, was starting to peek its head over the downward trend line, right? Did it close bullishly above it? No. Did it push above it? Yeah, for a little bit, but did it close above it? No. Was there increased volume yesterday? There was, but it not bullishly, right? So it didn't close above that, okay? So that right there, it doesn't tell you necessarily to go short, but it tells you to avoid longs, right? And so at that point, we wait, and then they downgrade Adobe today, and it gaps right down here, okay? So when we see a big gap down on news, like upgrade, downgrade, news, earnings, right? We add that stock, especially if it's tradable, to the 15 orb list. If it's liquid, if it is optionable, right? We add it to the 15 orb list, so we can at least look to see if there's opportunities on it. Okay, so that's what happened with Adobe today. Now the question is, right? We talked about this yesterday, right? The main concept with reversals yesterday is, right? Did it gap below a key level, like a major pivot level? Well, it kind of gapped to this little guy right here, but what's kind of the major one right here? Right, this guy right here, right? That's your big turning point level right there. Did we gap below that? No, we didn't. If we did, then we might have a chance to move a little bit farther down, right? And we could see that right here. If we gap below this, we might have seen a push down to these levels. We just gapped here, okay? We almost gapped right to it. So it tested some of those levels a little bit, but did it really get down there? No. So does that make it a good candidate for a reversal trade off of 15 orb? You bet it does. So let's take a look. All right, so that's one of the signals right there. We talked about that yesterday. So now let's look at the setups within the 15 orb. Okay, so there's a couple here, right? We've talked about this a few times. So the 15 orb, right? Anybody who's seen my basic post on it, right? We talk about trading the direction of the gap, but it doesn't always happen that way, right? Because if we don't get beyond a certain key level, sometimes we look for reversals. Okay, so when do we know that's going to happen? Well, it's it's tough, right? We got to look. We got to wait and see. All right, so a lot of times we like to wait for some sort of confirmation. Okay, so one of the things we like to look at is trend lines, right? So intraday we can look at trend lines here. So these are setups within here, right? So here's your low right here. It's really tough to check that on the 15-minute time frame, so we can go down to the 5. Okay, the 15 orb is still defined as the high and the low of the first 15-minute bar, the first 15-minute bars on the 5, first 3. Okay, so then we can kind of take a look here and start working on some trend lines. Okay, and see if anything makes sense, right? So here we start here. Right, we go to lows. We have this right here. Okay, so we look for a minor pivot at these levels. We don't really see any right here, right? We see these guys right here. but we're looking for a close above this bar, right? A bullish close above. These are all upper shadows right here with increasing volume. Do we see that anywhere here? No, we don't. Okay. So again, this is going to define a key level later, right? Okay, so one of the things we can do to kind of gear up for that is use these levels, right? So as soon as we see these levels, we can close bullishly above it with increasing volume, then we could look to maybe potentially go long, right? So here, what do we have here? We do have this, right? So we close above this level just slightly, okay, with a bullish bar with increasing volume. Right here, we just go right back down. There you go, increasing volume. So that gives an opportunity to take it, to swing this long, or to day trade it long to the 15 orb high. What was another clue in here that helped us see this? Okay, well, there's a couple other things too, right? Now that's our trend line technique, right? But what was another one, right? Well, we had this kind of compressed triangle right here. Okay, so we have a triangle breaking out too. So where does this triangle? Anytime you see a triangle, chances are there's an inside bar somewhere, right, on a higher time frame. Okay, so that's exactly what we had here. We had a couple inside bars, right? But again, the same thing here with the trend lines, right? This is trading this inside bar up doesn't make as much sense because of the price action on the lower time frame, right? So that's why it's important to look all around, right? So we did an inside bar here, tried to break it down again, failed, right? But did this get any volume? No, it didn't. It didn't get as much volume, right? And finally, we have this inside bar right here. Okay, this was kind of like the end, right? This is like, okay, what's this thing going to do? It's not breaking down. We have a lower shadow, lower shadow, lower shadow, lower shadow, lower shadow, lower shadow. It's not breaking down. We have an inside bar. That's kind of like the indecision bar, you know, and then boom, pop right out of that bar here with a big green bar and an increase in volume, okay? Right? So we have that, and then finally we had, you know, our bullish close on the 5 above these levels right here, and then we saw that move up into the 15 orb high. So those are the things that we look for. It's a lot more technical, right? But if you want to take advantage of the reversal trade, that's what we look for. Okay, and so from there, basically, you know, that's basically it. So one of the other things we could do is look at other possible setups that are within the 15 orb range, right? So we had a really tight range here. So we did end up having, right, an inside 60, right? And then we had a key reversal bar here, and then that went up here on the 60-minute time frame. So these are things we could look at. Roku did this a while ago, right? If you guys remember this trade. This was several months ago. Let's see where we're at here. This happened, I think, on it was like a downgrade. I think it was like in here. Yep, this is it right here, this day. So this day right here, look at this hammer, right? Beautiful reversal. This is a downgrade day here. This is a gap on news. So this was the 7-2, July 2nd, right? And that ended up being a phenomenal trade, right? Really, really great trade on this. And that really helped us, right? So, but what do we have that day? So we broke down that day on 7-2. Okay. So it's a little over 3 months. Let's go 180 days and just get back there real quick. And then we'll wrap this up. So 7-2 is over here. Okay, so what do we have this day? Okay, this was 7-2 as well. Here's your 15 orb. That's your first 15-minute bar, right? So what do we have there? We hit an inside bar right after that, and it started to work its way up. It came back and retested the 15 orb as well. And then we have what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4. This formed the hammer right here on the 60. Right, so we've had that former right there. Right, then it gave you another inside 15, and that worked its way up. Then it gave you a bull flag and worked its way up again. Right, so all, you know, different setups, different techniques we can use within those 15 orb ranges, right? Inside bars, you know, key reversal bars, trend lines, things like that, to look for setups to trade within that range, right? And then if we break out of the 15 orb, right, in the direction of our trade, even better, right? That's why we like those setups. That's why we look for the intraday setups to do that, right? So very, very important stuff. Okay, good. Well, I hope you guys found that helpful. At this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can, and we'll try to wrap up by 10:30 so we can get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. It looks like Shirley just sent an email in not too long ago, so let me put those in there too. Give me 1 second. We got a couple good ones on here. Shirley, you gotta get your new Gmail and just type them in order. Of course, I love your your ideas. I just can't put them in, because otherwise it won't even let me do it in my own stream. So, but I'll put those in here. Good. All right, Gio, what's going on? Good evening. Very excited for TOS night. Oh yeah, guys, we're gonna do a live stream for subscribers, and we're gonna go all through TOS. We're gonna go through everything. We're going to take questions too. We're going to go through, all the little, neat little tabs and all that stuff. We're going to go through these guys here and how we set up stuff and how I set up my candles and my bars, and just kind of go through kind of a run through. And we're going to record that for subscribers too. It's going to be awesome. Really excited about that too. So good. Yeah, that'll be coming. We got to schedule that pretty soon. It's gonna be awesome. PayPal. Thank you for asking that. Yeah, I think my friend Speculator tweeted about this just today. So this will definitely be on the radar here. One of the interesting things. I think you tweeted this out right here. So this goes here to here. It's starting to get very interesting. Okay. So it needs to close over these levels here. In fact, let me add that to our lot of fun list as well. / possible trade list. So PayPal. Okay, so it's starting to look really interesting here, right? Now it's coming up on earnings, which is something, right? But if we could close bullishly above these levels here with with increasing volume, we might be able to get a little scalp up there, a nice little multi-day trade up to the cloud. And excuse me, a sip of water. Okay, let's take a look here. Shop. Yeah, shop with the drop, guys. Evening star reversal. I meant to tweet that out earlier. Evening star right here, guys. We gap up, right? Have a real body above this body here, and we close with a bearish body, at least 50% of the first bar. This is an evening star reversal right here. So now that's bearish, and we also have an evening star right at the cloud bottom. Now, guys, I wanted to short this one so bad yesterday. I admit I did not take a position on it. I loved it. It looked great. Just didn't get an opportunity. I wanted to wait to see if we could push through that level today, and I don't think we even filled the gap today. So it really didn't give an opportunity. It was very, very tricky. So, but yeah, would love to have had that today. We gapped down like 5 points, and we ended up flushing down like 22 points on it today. So, really incredible move. But yeah, beautiful setup right here too. Now, sometimes, right, they don't, an evening star, it has a 69% chance of continuation, but sometimes it happens after a little bit of a pullback and then down. So it's something we have to keep an eye on. Now, this looks like sort of like the finish of like an A, B, C, type pattern right here. So, could this be the end of A? Maybe. If we do see that pullback in the morning star, that could be our B, and then we might see like a sharp C wave down to hit this this wave B kind of possibility down here. So we'll be looking for snapbacks on this for another shorting opportunity for sure. So definitely tracking that. Pins, I think Pins had like an upgrade intraday. They also had the stock lockup, thing release here, for insiders. Right now, Pins is still struggling, right? It is still down below the macro trend line right here, so we'll continue to look at it, right? Nice hammer yesterday. They kind of held, some key levels. It's starting to get a little bit bullish, but we'll wait till it gets here again. It might not even be a movement until after earnings, so we'll just wait on that one. DG. Yep, Dollar General just hanging in there, right? Still strong, bullish until proven otherwise on DG. XOM. Also bearish day today. I think today was like kind of the first day below. I think I drew a trend line on it. Yeah. So we got a couple of things going on here. We have this trend line right here, and we have this. So again, if we close below tomorrow with increased volume and a bearish bar, we might want to short it. But again, it's going right into support. So now if it closes below this, we'll just have to give it more time. A little bit tricky right here on XOM. And NMIH. NMIH. Let's take a look. Okay, so that went down here, up here. Yeah, it's kind of, cup and handle-ish maybe. Kind of doing a little something like that. Okay, I mean, very, very short-term trend is up. So, worth looking at. Earnings next month. Good stuff. Experience and thoughts. Good evening. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you had a great day today. Let's see. Nudie Poo, what's happening? Hey, good day. UPS and Tesla. Let's take a look. UPS. Okay. Yeah. It's kind of doing its thing. We have a bit of a, let's see if my trend lines pop up here. Oh, there they are. Yep. So we have this trend line from up here. Right, we're kind of running into that right now. So, but if we can get above that, right, and close bullishly, we might see a pop out of the cloud. It does have earnings coming up pretty soon, so that's definitely worth looking at. And then Tesla, yeah, Tesla has had just such a bullish move here. Goodness, it's almost ridiculous. Let's see, we are. I mean, it could continue. So, we'll see. It's got a, generally it's trending up right now. So we'll just have to wait and see what it does. It might trend up until earnings, then we'll see what earnings has going on. Should be pretty interesting. Good stuff. Stacy, what's going on? Good evening. Glad you could make it. Nvidia. 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 Upper shadow, upper shadow. So be careful with that. Inside bar with two upper shadows right there. So showing a little selling pressure at those levels, right? Where are we? Right? We're kind of here-ish. We're a little bit above this pivot right here, but having trouble getting above it, staying above it. Right? We're kind of have this or this gap selling pressure right here. Right? We filled the gap, and now we have that gap resistance. It's kind of still playing. Okay? So watch out on that one. Big, we have a couple gaps below, and inside shooting star. So just a little caution warranted on that one. Yep. Tamir, what's happening? Hey, Kulwan, what's up? Ramiro, what's up? DPZ. Yeah. Gosh, I need to take some time and compress my 15 orb list right into our swing list. It's just finding the time. So yeah, really interesting stuff right here. We might have a little bit of an inverted head and shoulders. That's an experience and thoughts favorite right there. So we'll see if I can hold that right there. It's got its previous earnings 15 orb levels here, I believe. Yes. And so we'll see if it can get above those levels and then continue to work its way up. So had a nice down move after the previous earnings, right? Kind of worked its way back up to this earnings. Had a huge gap down, talking about share buybacks, right? And so now we'll look. So it might be forming like a little bit of a bull flag right here, which would be kind of like it could be the end of the inverse head and shoulders, possibly kind of cup and handle-ish type thing. So we'll see if that continues to work up. Very interesting, and it's got that gap up there that it could eventually target. Okay, good. Matthew, what's happening? SPIX? Yeah, let's take a look. Good old SPIX. Little move today, some decent volume. Here's your macro trend right here. Right there. Oh, turn into a channel. Try that again. Right there. Okay, so pretty much the same general concept right here. We'll go with the macro one. Okay. Couple bullish closes over these levels. But on decreasing volume, right? That's the only hard part. Here's the upper shadow right here, makes it a little challenging. It is in the cloud, right? So this has some potential. It just needs to work its way up a little bit. So it's putting some selling pressure here at this pivot point right here. Okay, but we are above it on the macro level, so very interesting. A little selling pressure in that area. Good. What else? Tamir, thanks for hey, my pleasure. I hope you're finding it helpful. That's my pleasure. Paul, what's going on? Hope you had a great day today. Yeah, let's take a look at Nvidia. I just went over Nvidia, but we'll take another look at it here. Basically, just had those topping tails that were going on, so it's finding some selling pressure here at at the prior gap level. Okay. Kind of at this gap level right here. So a little selling pressure there. So we'll see what it does, right? Maybe it'll tail fail above it and then give us a little move up. Coop. Like C-O-O-P. Ooh. Mr. Cooper. Cool. Let's take a look, see what it's doing. Yeah. Kind of doing this type thing. Couple little bump type stuff going right here. So right now it's a little bit sketchy. I mean, generally it's working its way up. So just watch how it handles the cloud and these levels right here. Right, it's kind of floating around a little bit in space. So it needs to put in a fresh high, and then we could shift the trend line over. If it puts in a fresh high, then the trend will shift up. And then KSS. KSS. We have this right here. Coals. Okay, yeah, it's holding trend. So it's holding trend until proven otherwise. So that's good. Nice stuff. Cool one. What's up? Microsoft and QCOM. Let's take a look. Microsoft. Whew. I've just been chopping around this channel for a long time. You can see this channel right here. I've had it for a while. So it's really kind of choppy in here at this point. So watching this trend line, right? Minor pivots below, just, again, right now it's below the trend line, so I just have to be careful. And it's below this macro channel line too. So they're trying to prop it up, but it's struggling. It's struggling. It has to have something big happen. Maybe earnings. QCOM. Whew. That was a tough one right here, guys. Look at how it had this island top right here, right? And now it's basically once you have a big gap like that. Let's go to sorry. Let's clear this a little bit. Okay, once you have a big gap like this, right, it becomes a point of interest and can be tested several times, right? So now you can see we're basically all messing around in this gap. So at this point, it's really tough, right? I mean, it was a nice candle day, increasing volume. It looks like we are, a little bit above this this trend line here. Okay, pretty bullish close today. So we'll see if it gets continuation. But again, the expectations on it, I would say, are probably not too high. There's a lot of resistance here at this 80 level. Okay. MTN, what's happening? The BAC orb didn't really do much today, huh? Yeah, it was. This was kind of the ones where just kind of continue the conversation here. It's kind of one of those ones where we look for trading within the orb, setups within the orb. So this made a good reversal, and why was that? Let's go back here. Okay, so where did we gap to? Okay, well we gapped up here. So we gapped over this pivot right here. So that did give a gap and go potential, except where could it go to? Well, basically the next level. Right? So we have to see how it handles that level. Could it get above that? No, it couldn't. Right? So it found a lot of resistance in that area. You see upper shadow, upper shadow, upper shadow, upper shadow, upper shadow. Right? So we're seeing a lot of upper shadows in this area. So let's take a look at the 15 orb today and see what that did. Right? So we had so again, we had the big 15 orb right here, right? And no other real kind of key movement, right? We flushed down below it, right? A little bit, but not much, right? But that's kind of the nature of Bank of America. So what we do is we look at the lower time frames. Well, that wasn't the 15 orb. That was the... Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah, we're good. So we chopped around the low end of the range, right? So the real question is, were there any setups for the reversal today? And all we had was like a little bit of an upper shadow at the upper level. Not really big. You're right. Not very big range today. Not a lot to do with it. But some stocks we kind of avoid, right? Look how it held like all the pre-market levels right here that found that as support. Okay? It just couldn't break out. And the reason is it was confined. So it was confined here by the pre-market levels and the daily levels on the upside. So pre-market here, daily levels there. Makes it good nuance though, but thanks for pointing that out. Experience and thoughts. What's up, T-Mus? T-Mus. Macro trend looks like it's up on this one. Let me just give it a second here to zoom out. Let's get a little clear in here. Let's see what we got going on here. See if that works. Looks like it's uptrending, but let's see what the trend line says. Trend line says, trying to break down a little bit. Okay, so a couple key levels right here. Just watch this pivot right here. It might just be retesting the trend line. Then if it gets below this, we might see a push to the downside. Earnings coming up pretty soon too. Earnings might put it back above the trend line, but we don't know yet. Okay, lows. Lows companies. Okay. Generally, this is your trend line right here, right? So here's your pivots right here. We'll look for a bullish close over these levels, then for a move up. Okay, and we have X dividend coming up pretty soon. PayPal we just looked at. Let's take just another glance at it. PayPal is an opportunity here, right? Couple key levels that are going over, but again, opportunity is the cloud, and earnings are coming up soon too. Facebook, I think Facebook still has merit to it. A little challenging today intraday, but it ended up closing at the highs. Let's see. It's been pretty strong, right? We have this bull flag up, right? It's just working its way up through the cloud. I love how it closed today. I love how it closed with a nice hammer, basically pretty near yesterday's highs, and I liked yesterday's levels too. So I think this thing could start to work itself up, at least to the cloud. It's got to get over this level right here, but if it does, then it could give a pretty big break. And it might be able to do that before earnings. We'll see. AMZN, Amazon. Yeah, starting to get interesting here. It is, kind of poked its head out. Well, this I don't think this one's really accurate right here. 1 second. Okay, we'll go with this for now. Let me redraw this. For some reason, it just doesn't keep the trend line where it should be. Okay, so we have this, and this. Okay, so we're basically right at this trend line right here. Testing these levels right here. We'll see if we can get out of it. It does have earnings coming up pretty soon, within a couple days. So we'll see if that gets any bullish follow through here. Lots of cloud here too. So it's going to need, I tweeted out earlier, it's going to need a move, right? It's going to need a Netflix-like move to get going. And Amazon could, right? Amazon could. We'll see if it's got it in it. The netties. Oh yeah, this netties. We looked at this today. Super bullish. I mean, I almost took a position in it, and I was like, I just haven't really traded this one before. But I mean, the setup is really nice, right? Bullish. Even yesterday would have been the day. That's probably why I didn't do it, because it's like we already had this move, and yesterday was a good day to enter, right? With this downward trend line right here, minor pivot, closed above it bullishly with increased volume, and then got a little gap down, but that reversal back up was beautiful right off of that. Almost a 10-point move today. Goodness gracious. That's why I didn't go in. Just didn't want to get the FOMO. So good. IT Fun, what's going on? Good evening. Thanks for tuning in. Mark, what's up? Good evening. Thank you for tuning in. Sean, what's up? Sono, let's take a look. Sono. Oh, this is interesting. I must have had this from an old discussion on Fibonacci's. I don't draw fibs too much unless I see an Elliott wave setup. Okay. Here, low, there. So this is tricky, right? Downtrending. It is holding the cloud right now, which is nice, but it's also got like a head and shoulders type thing working on, so it could work its way back down. It's got a gap down here. It's got to kind of slowly work its way back up to get to this trend line, and then it'll start to reveal itself. Experience and thoughts. TGT and cost, a couple retail ones. Yeah, it would have been interesting to see. I didn't even look at these guys today. Yeah, they held in there even with the retail numbers bad, so that's good. Target's been really strong, guys. Looking for setups on this thing is good. Cost too. Cost was great. We had a nice swing on this one recently, right off of this bar right here. It had a nice move up there, so it's a nice little trade, right? And I like how it held with a hammer here too. So, cost is going to be good. Again, we're looking for a pullback on this one to buy a pullback. So if we can get any pullbacks, we'll look for setups to the long side. Very, very important. Dimitri, what's happening? Hope you're doing well. Jimmy, what's up? Oh, my pleasure. Yeah, let's take a look at JD, Merck, and CGC. Yeah. So JD, yeah, looking pretty bullish. It had a good day yesterday, just like the NetEase one. Right, it looks very, very similar to its behavior. Right, here's your levels. Right, bullish closes above these levels, and then it's continuing to work itself up, which is interesting. Again, they have CEO issues, like continual CEO issues, but after that, the chart looks pretty good there. MRK been struggling with this cloud right here. Just got out of it today. It's like whoop, right over the cliff. So got to be careful with that. And then CGC. CGC is up after hours, I believe. Okay, we have generally, I should have a long trend line on this. Okay, we have that channel on this. So let's see where it came up to. I'm not sure it's up to 23. Yeah, it's up to like 21. So it's up a bunch after hours. Apparently just has to do with the Canada. Canada is going to allow some edible cannabinoid law that passes tomorrow. So a bunch of these, these type of stocks we're all gapping up after hours, or pushing up after hours. MTN, VR, Roku, buy the dippers were out in force. Yeah, they were. Yeah, no, actually, guys, yeah, Roku. Let's take a look at that too. Roku, it did it too. Okay, gapped up today, and then flushed at the open. It was really scary. I was like, oh my goodness, they're flushing Roku, right? And then it had the inside 15, came back down, gave you a big reversal bar off of it, and then worked its way back up to the 15 orb. So this is a great example of setups within the 15 orb. Right, tricky, right? Because I think it's going to break it down, but we got to look at the ATRs too. Like, how big is the range of the orb? If it's too big, right? I think we talked about this, the other day. Gauging the size. That was like day 2. Gauging the size of the orb. Too big. Don't play this. Don't play this. This is too big. The size of this is 4.45. Right. The ATR is less. Okay. I know it's certainly less, but I think it's 5 times less. Or a factor of 5 less. So when you see a big bar like that, a reversal is actually a good candidate. And there you go. Big drop, reversal back up. Good stuff. And then it held the 15 orb, just kind of chopped around there for the rest of it. But yeah, they definitely bought the dip on that one today. And it makes sense because of the gauge, right? The size of the 15 orb. So thanks for bringing that one up. Absolutely. Ayaz, what's going on? What's up? I hope you're doing great. John, what's up? Neo? Oh my goodness, Neo is just this penny stock. It makes it so tough to trade. But yeah, in general, it's below like every single trend line ever that it could be. This is basically a trend line right here. The macro trend line is down. The intermediate trend line is down. The micro trend line is down, and then here, we're looking for a potential setup. I mean, you basically got to look for shorts, right? So here's your minor pivots right here. It did close below. It closes a doji. I don't know what that means on penny stocks. It still might be lower. It looks like it still would want to try lower on that. So this thing's going way lower, I'm sure. AM bids, what's up? At least that's my opinion. AM bids, what's up? So, hello. What should the strategy for Netflix and IBM tomorrow? And you mentioned the Go Bar and the Orb this morning on UNH, and just curious how you see it move next few days. Okay, so a couple things here. Yep. So Netflix, we're just going to play the 15 Orb tomorrow, just like that. We're going to see how big it is, right? We're going to see, where it goes. Right now, it's gapping up to, I believe. Oh, let's load up here. Here, it's going to be gapping up to this level. So I got 313. Let's see where it is right now, where it's closing at here after hours. Yeah, about 314-ish. So it's right here. So what does that mean? Where's it gapping to? Is it gapping above these levels? No. If it did, we might see a gap and go. Is it gapping above the gap? No. It's gapping above kind of this stuff right here, right? And it's gapping into some resistance, some selling pressure. So we have to be prepared for a potential reversal, for a potential flush on that tomorrow. Okay, they might sell that, right? There's a big gap below. There's going to be some bears trying to push that down. So what we do is we wait for the 15 orb, see how big that 15 orb is. If it's huge like Roku, gauge the price action, right? You don't have to just buy the 15 orb break. Look for price action within there, right? Look for that inside 15, right? Look for the size and the ATR of the 15 orb. If it's too big, look for another reversal, right? It might give a big reversal bar down, and then we'll look for a reversal back up. Okay, so we'll see exactly how that behaves on that. That's kind of the idea with Netflix. And IBM, similar. Let's see where IBM is right now. And it all depends where we are in the morning. Anything could happen in the morning. Right? So right now, IBM is gapping to, is likely, right now it's projected to gap to, let's see, 134-ish, 135. Okay. So we'll put a little circle right there. 134, 135. So somewhere in this range right here. So it's going to gap down there tomorrow. So that leaves an island top. Does it gap below a key pivot like any of these guys right here? No. Does it gap below this? Kind of, but it's into some support. Right? It looks like there's a little gap right here, so it might fill that gap. So you got to watch this on earnings days. Gaps can get filled really quick. Old gaps can get filled really quickly on earnings days, right? Because there's big volatility into it. So it comes down, can fill that gap and reverse. So that could be a good reversal point. Okay, then we could look to trade the reversal off of that level tomorrow. Okay, so that's a very, very good question. And then we have the Go Bar and the Orb this morning on UNH. Yep, and just curious how you see it moves the next few days. So UNH, I'm still pretty bullish on it, I believe, depending on how it closes right here. Yeah, so it actually closed pretty bullishly as an inside bar, right? It had a big gap up over, kind of this downward trend line right here, right? So that's a bullish close right there, increased volume, and it held this pivot level. Okay, so as long as it holds that, I think it's pretty bullish, right? It could continue to work, at least try to test the high of the gap right there. So I'm actually looking at, I've got an alert on this. I'm looking to trade this on an inside day up tomorrow. So we'll look at that, and then we'll see what kind of Go Bar type setups we have intraday. So good, Sarah. Good evening. I hope you're doing well. Anvesh, what's going on? Hey, good evening. Yeah, Google, Square, and Tier. Let's take a look. So Google. The Googmeister. So just so you guys know, I don't trade Google anymore. I just refuse to. It's too hard. It's too hard. It's the way the options have been, it's just been almost impossible to trade for me. And then to catch a good swing on it has been impossible too. So I've been hands off of this thing. Right now it's under this kind of macro trend line right here. So that's worth looking at, right? So, but again, it might retest those levels. It might find that as resistance, kind of work its way down. Give a little upper shadow today, right? So it's kind of in this range right here. We'll see if it how it goes, like back and forth and stuff. We'll check out earnings too. See if it goes one way or the other. Good. Google SQ. SQ is interesting. SQ came up to the cloud today and gave an inside bar, a bearish inside bar. Right, we had a little bit of an ascending triangle type thing right here, right? She gave a bullish breakout bar right here, but it was right into the cloud. Now we have an inside bar at the cloud. So I wouldn't be surprised if we took the inside bar down tomorrow for a little bit of a flush out of the cloud. So that's something to look at. And then DE. Yeah, a little bit of an upper shadow here too. It's had actually a really nice move up. Um, so right now we're seeing a recent high, so we have a new high, new trend line. Fresh high, fresh trend line, just like that. So it is bullish to improvement. Otherwise, we just had an upper shadow right there. That's basically all with that one. But good stuff. Yeah, great charts. Wendy, what's going on? Good morning. Hope you're doing great. Yep. So why does Netflix earnings report impact Amazon? So great question. So everything is linked together through the index, through the Nasdaq, right? So everything is indexed together, and large, money managers and funds that have their portfolios that are all kind of driven together, they're indexed together and linked together, right? So if Netflix moves up, which is weighted right on the Nasdaq, weighted pretty highly on the Nasdaq, right? That could move the Nasdaq up. If the Nasdaq moves up, well, its other highly weighted stocks move too. So if Netflix is up, then Amazon, is likely to be up unless it has its own kind of news going on, right? Facebook's probably up a little bit, like possibly a little Apple. Now, Apple is highly linked with the Dow, right? And the S&P too, so it's not as much. But we can see big moves on the Nasdaq on big stocks can affect other stocks, right? And they're also sympathy stocks too. So Netflix being a streaming stock, right, would affect Roku, which is also kind of like a streaming stock too, right? And Amazon does some streaming as well, right? Amazon Prime, things like that. So if Netflix is up and doing well, that section of Amazon will be doing well, so that's up. And then Roku's up too. It's already up 2 points here after hours in sympathy with Netflix. So you get that too. So then you have the sympathy stocks, which are also part of the Nasdaq, and then the Nasdaq goes up, and then the other stocks on the Nasdaq start to go up. So kind of like that. It's good stuff. Bob B, what's happening? Apple? Let's take a look. Hold on. Here is my computer is now digesting Thinkorswim, or maybe Thinkorswim is digesting my computer. I'm not sure. Ooh. Application not responded. May respond if you wait. Do you want to end this process? No. Give it a second, guys. I've got Thinkorswim just decided to just crash. So give me a second here. Yeah. Why it does this right now, I have no idea. It's like I wasn't even doing anything. Like literally, there's just like one static stock John Deere, and I'm just talking. I'm talking about the different stocks on the Nasdaq, and then computer's like, nope. So hopefully, just give it a minute here. Sometimes it does that, and then it gives you like a performance error, and then asks you if you want to report it, and then so I click the button, and then it goes back to normal. If not, I might have to restart it. So just give me a minute here. Other than that, yeah, looking forward to seeing how the market responds tomorrow to Netflix. Well, I've got an error message up here. 1 second. Let's see if it responds. Give me a second while we wait for this response. If it doesn't respond in a second, I might have to reboot Thinkorswim. A little odd that it does this here. Like I'm like literally like, what is it processing? I don't have any really data coming in. Just got a hiccup, I guess. It's late. It had a long day. I wonder if I have another window I could open up here. Nope, that seems to be down too. Give me a second. Gosh, I can hear my processor like churning. It's like, what did Thinkorswim do? Give it a sec. This is awful when it does it. All right, I'm going to close the program, guys. I'm going to reboot it. Just give me a second here. I'm going to switch over to the other scene here. One second. And then we'll finish the chart real quick. I just need to reboot Thinkorswim. Yes, I know it's not responding. Oh, it says that it's reporting it to Microsoft. It's okay. You don't have to report it to Microsoft. You can just close the program. Hold on, guys. Unbelievable. It's even taken a while to. Gosh, sometimes Thinkorswim does lock things up. Fortunately, it doesn't do this much during the day, but sometimes when we're streaming, I don't know. Maybe it gets like a little hiccup with the streaming stuff. I mean, it's even taken a while to boot. Okay, there we go. All right, we're pulling it up in a second here. One sec. Do 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 do. And then Thinkorswim goes through this long process. Like it opens up one of those admin windows. It's like, are you sure you want to open this? Yeah, that's why I clicked it. Ugh. Gosh, processor's still going crazy. Thinkorswim can sometimes give us a hiccup, you know. I wish I had the PDF on here we could take a look at. It's from an old one, right? We had the ideal pattern, flag patterns and stuff. Well, one thing we might be able to do, guys, instead of waiting on Thinkorswim, is I could pull up TradingView, and we could just kind of use that for a second. So let me pull that up here. See if I can do that faster, and we can at least get through some of the chart requests there, if the computer will let me. It's really locked up here. I don't know what happened. Happens very, very rarely. Definitely rarely in the live streams here. Gosh, I can hear my processor going crazy back there. Like, what got into it? I guess I could pull up Trend Spider. We do look at that often, so. All right, one second. Cue elevator music. Creating desktop. Yes. My broadcaster is telling me I have high CPU usage detected. Maybe the broadcaster is at fault. Well, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Give me 1 second here as it kind of loads this up here. I have like a million windows saved in this thing. If anybody can hear me. All right, we're pulling this up here, guys. It's loading slowly. Okay, so here's the Thinkorswim. It's starting to load here. Hopefully we get some charts up. All right, we got some scripts loading right here. Just need some charts. Give us the charts. Okay, cool. I think we're getting it. All right, we're gonna switch from candles to bars. But here we go. All right. Sorry, guys. Thank you everybody who stayed. Appreciate you guys. Let's keep going. All right. So yeah. So Apple, Bob. All right, so let's take a look at Apple. Yeah, if it did that again during the day, I'd be like, we just got this computer too. So it's like, really? All right, so Apple, let's see. So Apple generally is up until proven otherwise. Right? Oh, it's bullish till proven otherwise, right? Right now it's starting to prove otherwise, right? We had a down day today, so that's the first kind of ding in the armor here. Right? The trend generally is up, right, from here. Right, so we'll see if if it gets a bearish close below that, then we might actually be able to short Apple. Now just kind of see what it's doing big picture wise. Paul, if you're still here, it's looking for very similar to SPX, right? We have this impulsive move down here, right? Possible A, B, C, B, So, but this looks kind of like an impulsive wave, right? Doesn't it? So if that's the case, Apple may give an impulsive wave down too. So, but in general, we're still trending up. So we got to respect our trend, right? Otherwise, we get a little too speculative, right? Paul, Nike, one more push. Let's take a look. Just do it, right? Whew, up 9 cents today. Yeah, it's trying. Almost look like it's bull flagging a little bit right here. It's a little bit horizontal, so it looks like maybe a horizontal channel that's working out here, but you could possibly call it a little bull flag. So that could be interesting on Nike. And then Shirley gave a couple stocks here, so we looked at BAC. We took a glance at that a little bit ago. So BAC, right? Big moves up, right? I mean, it looks very, very bullish right here. So again, it is bullish until proven otherwise. What else? ACHN. Achilleon Pharma. Whoa! Wowza! Look at that. There's a nice one to be in right there. If it's a buyout? Surely just be careful with that. Yep. So watch out for this one, Shirley. All right, this could chop around for a very long time. Okay. So that's a buyout. MDR. That would have been nice to have been positioned in that. And good. Yeah, MDR. Just be careful here. It's starting to perk up in these a couple of these levels, but at the same time, watch the upper shadow right there. But yeah, it could give a little bit of a move up there to the downward trend line. JD we looked at a little bit ago. Again, it is starting to work its way up here, so that's good. Bullish to proven otherwise there. M was looking like it might start to work on a lower reversal. I looked at it at the end of the day today and just couldn't close above these levels. So wait till it closes above those bullishly with increasing volume. Then GPS. Yeah, gap is starting to look interesting here. Right, we do have this downward trend line here. Oh, actually, disregard. There. Yeah, so it didn't quite close above it, but once it closes bullishly over those levels, it might start to get interesting as well. So good one, Shirley. Leo, XP, extending triangle pattern, ascending triangle pattern. Nice. Any thoughts? Yeah, let's take a look. EXPE. Yeah. What time frame we got? So are you kind of thinking like this right here, like this? So the only thing with the triangles, right, is right. It's kind of looking like that, right? But what we want to see with the triangles is right. We see like an A, B, C, D, E. So let's see if it does that, right? So A, this could be some crazy B, and then C, and then D, and then E. Now typically it might try to come up and then come down and then work its way back up, right? So that's kind of the area there, but I'd just be careful with that one a little bit, right? But it is getting bullish, right? But just it's also heading into resistance too. Yeah. What else did we get? What did I miss here? Okay, good. Market Mike, what's up? Yeah, absolutely. Hope you had a good day too. I know, happy earnings are back. Non-earnings related, MNST approaching that trend line. Think 57 is a key break. Let's see. It's getting there. Ah, gosh, I thought it was going to break out over here. Never did. So we got this. It's getting there. It's getting there. Needs a little time, right? Needs to get above it, close bullishly above it, things like that. And then before you know it, earnings are going to be here. But yeah, 57 is interesting. Ramiro, what's up? DPZ? I think we looked at this a little bit ago. A little deja vu here. But yeah, or maybe it was yesterday. No, we drew the bull flag on this earlier. Yeah, so we got the gap there, right? Little cup and handle, inverse head and shoulders. So it's starting to get pretty bullish here. So that's looking interesting. Thomas, what's up? What is going on here? Everything is all over the place. I think some of these are CBS. Did we look at these? I think I saw these requests already. Oh, well, it's all good. CBS, all good, Thomas. Yeah. Oh, yeah, CBS is looking really good here. So we had this downward trend line, which actually was a kind of a bull flag too, off of CVS. And then minor pivot right here, bullish close over yesterday with increased volume, and then it pushed its way up nicely today. So let's see, it's got a gap above. It might continue to work its way up there. Jay, hello, AM Bids. For the subscriber, do you give alerts during the day for trades, and how and in what subscription? Yeah, so if you guys are interested, obviously I've got the links here in the description, but it's positivetrends.com, and then newsletter alerts.html. So with that, you get my weekly newsletter where I go like a full review of the market, and we look for cool setups, and we look to get just a really good perspective on what's happening on the SPX. It also comes with a companion video, and then good stuff like that. And then also it comes with the private Twitter, which includes live at the open, where I go through trades or setups that are looking interesting. And if I take a trade, I post it to the private Twitter. So you get to see that kind of stuff. TTD. I don't know what's going on with the stream health right now. It seems to be showing red, but hopefully you guys can still see this stuff. If I don't see you guys, have a great rest of your evening. But because I can't fix any more things on the computer here. But it seems to be surviving right here. Yeah, TTD was rough. We had a nice Jack in the Box move up the other day on this, and looked like we were going to get a little more bullish behavior on it. But this flushed down with the rest of the kind of the software growth stocks, and so that kind of flushed down as well. Kind of an evening star as well. But we'll see if it gets any bearish move down, possibly even down to these levels here. So it's looking a little scary there. Experience and thoughts. Yes, had a great day with NVIDIA. Great job on that. And you got out just in time. That's awesome, man. Good. Cool one. My pleasure. Jimmy, have a wonderful night. MTN, thank you. Experience and thoughts. Intel. Experience and thoughts. You're like Shirley, like get a bunch of, but you sneak them in like all over those. It's like anyway, it's all good. Yeah, Intel inside day. Intel inside. So again, we're just going to see if we can hold this trend line right here. A little bit boring on that one. What else? Leo, what's up? TNDM. TNDM. Yeah, it's getting there. Gosh, I really liked that breakout bar yesterday. It just needed to close above that bullishly, and it just couldn't quite do that today. So it's retesting the trend line right here. These type of, pharma-only stocks can be a little bit tricky. Experience and thoughts. Is that an Adam Eve pattern on the Roku 15 orb? Let's take a look. Okay, so an Adam Eve pattern. All right, so it's a reversal at the end of a parabolic rally, right? So let me see if I can find a link to that here. 1 second. Let me pull up a Bukowski pattern. 1 second. So Adam and Eve. All right, so there's a couple of these. It's basically, yeah, so it's like, it's an ABC, right? It comes down, gives you the atom, which is a V, and then it gives you a cup. All right, so let me show you what this looks like here, guys. Let me send you this link. Okay, if you guys are still there. Okay, so there's a link at the bottom called the Adam and Eve pattern. Okay, so it looks like it's like a little bit of a V, and then kind of a reversal, and then like a scallop. So that'd be Roku or a fry pan bottom, right? Remember those? All right, so let's check out the 15 here. Let me go to a cleaner chart. Yeah, so very, a lot like that, right? So you have your V. There's your atom, and kind of like an Eve-ish right here, right? But it was kind of at the end of the day there, right? So, but yeah, I see. Oh boy, don't you hate it when you click the wrong button? All right, let's see. Take a look here. So where was I? I was down here somewhere. Okay. Yeah. So if we looked at even like a shorter time frame, we might be able to see. Yeah, atom, little cup that right there. I guess kind of cup. This is more cup-ish right there, and then up. So yeah, the Eve would come back down to those lows. I think we saw one a little bit different that looked a little bit better. I think Adobe was more like that. it's kind of tough to say there. So here you did have the atom, right? You came back up, and I guess you could call this like a little bit of a cup right here. That's the eve, and then back up. You can kind of go with that. So that's pretty cool. So that's good. Let's see. BKNG. Didn't we just look at that? Or did you ask me about that earlier today? BKNG. Yeah, in general. Let's see. It definitely strong right here, right? So it had a couple, crazy minor pivot right here. It had trouble. Yesterday was kind of the day that it closed bullishly above it, and it did get a little bit of follow through to the upside today. So right to the pitchfork top too. Experience thoughts. That was the last, I promise. Sorry for the list. Love your input for thesis. Nice, good stuff. Doc Admin, what's up? Coop, a different Coop. We looked at COOP. Now it's COUP. And COUP, just like the rest of these software stocks, just got jammed today. But isn't it interesting, my friends, on this? If it wasn't yesterday, the other day we talked about Coop and this ascending triangle, right? This megaphone formation, and that it looked bearish, right, at the top here, right there, with this yesterday's candle, and then boom to the downside. It's just fascinating, right? How that works. And also 3 times 1, 2, 3 up here, 1, 2, 3 up here, down. Scary stuff, but interesting for sure. Where are we? So that's Coop. Apple 2. Too sour for it. Yeah, exactly. Inside day. Experience thoughts. Time for those gaming PC like the 32 gigabytes RAM. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys remember, but in the private group, my other computer was basically starting to crash, and so I had to get this computer basically same day, so I could help all so I didn't lose touch with my private Twitter group, and so I ran out for lunch and grabbed this thing, and so it was the best I could get. It's got 16 gigs of RAM. Yeah, 32 would be good. It is a gaming PC, and they told me it was an NVIDIA graphics card, but it's actually an AMD one, and so yeah, I would like to upgrade to the NVIDIA GeForce one. Yep. Exactly. And support their calls. That's right. Wendy, yeah, let's take a look at Lynn. Yeah. Wow. I mean, generally, this is bullish, like, overall. I mean, it's the super macro trend is, up. Right. Then you have this. It's kind of testing it. So just be careful. It's testing these levels right here. This is also doing like a megaphone. So just be careful there. A little bit of an undershoot on that one, but kind of doing that too. So just be careful at these levels, right? You have this trend line right here, then you have this megaphone type thing working here too. So just be careful of that. But yeah, I know Apple is mad for not trading. That's exactly it. And then Amar, what's going on? Cron? Yeah, a lot of these pot stocks are up after hours on this this kind of news of Canada, right? So. But yeah, Canada, cannabis. I don't know. We'll see. Inside 60 to close. Where's my daily? What is going on here? So very, very interesting stuff. I mean, basically, it's gonna be gapping up. So looks like it'll gap over the trend line. So see if it's bullish, and if it is, we could look to trade those. Yeah, exactly, on the NVIDIA. And my pleasure, Harvey. Yes, I've learned from the best. Learned from the best. Jay, oh no! Yeah, control and escape, sort of CPO, kill whatever's on top. Nice, that's a good idea. Thank you though. Thank you guys for sticking around. K-Man, what's up? Shop and Roku. Yeah, Shop and Roku have been showing similar patterns. Oh my goodness, futures went green. Shop has been pretty crazy, right? We had that doji day off of the 50% retrace at the top of the bear flag and at the top of the zigzag channel. So that came down off of it. Now you're at the bottom of the bear flag, so let's see if that holds or if it breaks down. If it does come back up, we might see another test of the channel and then still, again, possible work back down. And then Roku. Shop was a little bit sharper to get to the 50% retrace. We're looking at it here as a potential, right, on Roku to get to this level right here. It could test the scene of the breakdown right here too. So we'll see how much it wants to do that. So yeah. I know, right? Exactly. I'm like the fly on those. So good. All right, guys. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thanks for your patience there. We had that little technical difficulty, but really appreciate you guys. Thank you for your support. If you guys are new here and stuck around the whole time, thank you again. Please make sure you subscribe on YouTube so you can check us out every market night as we go over this stuff. And then also be sure to check out the links in the description, and I posted some links there below too, so you can look at that Adam and Eve pattern and some of the other stuff too. So good. I appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your evening, and remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you soon.